Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Tuesday, August 4th. Hard to believe, but an announcement that I want to make starting this Friday. We're going to have Fridays with Phillip periodically as we progress through all that's going on. All you have to do is call the office, 863-382-0037 to register and get hooked up, and we will do it at 11:30 this coming Friday. Looking forward to that time where we can answer all your questions and make sure you're on the right track for retirement. Stand by. We'll get ready and go with Dave here in just a second.
Joel there. More Dave here. 8:39, 21:49. Time to check in and find out what's happening with money in your world this morning. This stuff affects just about all of us because even if all you got is savings accounts and whatnot, how the banks do determines how much your interest rate is. Let's go downtown to the offices of Statler Financial Services where Phillip Statler is standing by. Phillip, good morning. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, Dave. I wish I was standing at my office. However, I've looked to see if my internet was working at the office before I got in the truck, and it was not. So I stayed at the house so that you and I could have this conversation this morning.
Whoopsie, I didn't ask this morning because I just know on Tuesdays you're in your office first thing in the morning.
One of those days.
Yeah, it's one of those. Speaking of one of those days, it's a relatively slow start to our news day, but we had one fairly substantial economic report that came out yesterday. I didn't hear about it, but you caught it. We've been getting all these good news pieces on mortgage markets, housing markets, and everything. Kind of a crack in the armor yesterday afternoon, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So one of the things that we looked at, and one of the, I think is kind of an important number, is construction spending. And that came out yesterday after you and I got off the radio. And they expected construction spending to increase by 1.3%, and it actually decreased by 0.7. So that was about a 2% swing. Not exactly what you wanted to hear when it comes to that topic of construction and real estate. Obviously, it did not hurt the markets yesterday, but just one of those things we need to pack in the back of our heads and think, okay, that's one negative indicator, if you will.
Yeah, because we've been pleasantly surprised by housing starts and all the residential indications. I wonder if we drill down on that, we might find that's a function more of commercial investment and commercial building. That would at least soften the blow by a little bit, I assume.
Yeah, it probably would, but I'm guessing because, I mean, I've got a few friends that are in the commercial real estate business and the construction side, and they seem to be still going gangbusters because they got projects going. But there's some areas, let's face it, in the United States where real estate is suffering because in the metro areas where it's hard to this coronavirus is really starting to impact people and they want to get away from it. So it's hurting real estate.
That's understood. It's something like you say. It's one of those chinks in the armor that you got to look at and see whether it's a data point or whether it's the indication of a trend. Talking about good news this morning, release came out that one of the companies working on a coronavirus vaccine, the Moderna company, said this morning that they will have a finding, they hope, as to whether or not the vaccine is the government term safe and effective, and they hope they'll have that finding around Halloween. Now, that's about the best coronavirus news I've heard in eons, isn't it?
It really is. If we can get a vaccine that's actually ready Halloween, the end of October, 1st of November, that will be pretty impressive and say a lot about our R&D and our pharmaceutical companies and their ability to come through.
Absolutely. The government's been fast-tracking this and basically helping like 3 to 5 companies work on a vaccine in the process. Moderna is the one that's been getting the most press because they're a little bit ahead of the rest of them. But nevertheless, it's really good to see that. I think our record was for the swine flu a few years ago. We managed to get that outbreak done by like the 1st of December and actually got a vaccine out. They weren't that optimistic on the coronavirus, but who knows? We might have a chance of breaking that record this year.
That would be nice. That would definitely put some people at ease.
Without a doubt. The other news item I got is Apple has been getting a real bump off of their quarterly report, and the fact that they were able to reassure investors that, yeah, a couple of weeks late on their new iPhone shipments is about the worst. They're still the world's most valuable public company, and they're looking at the possibility of $2 trillion in market cap. I haven't looked at the size of Apple lately compared to other countries' GDPs, but the last time I did, if Apple were a country, they'd be about the 18th biggest country in the world. Kind of makes you say, wow, doesn't it?
It really does, and I think that their 4-for-1 stock split is going to help them also, continue to raise that value.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating company. It really is. 5-7 years ago, I was saying I thought it was a bit of a joke how overvalued it was. And okay, I'll take it back. Whoops.
You changed your tune, didn't you?
Hey, I won't claim to have 1,000 batting average, and I was wrong on Apple. I'll give it that much. Hey, we got a bunch of reports out this morning on the quarterlies from companies, and they don't seem to be helping the futures all that much this morning.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a mixed bag this morning as some of the companies that we're looking at today. Edgewell Personal Care, which is, that doesn't sound really familiar, but they're the guys that make the Schick razors and the Edge shaving cream and that kind of stuff. Yeah, they've been impacted. I guess, less people are shaving, right? You're getting to stay home. Why shave? They missed earnings by a little bit. They came in at 66 cents a share. They're expected to come in at 82. Revenue was also down. They say they've been significantly impacted by this pandemic, and I think it boils down to just that fact. People aren't shaving.
I honestly wouldn't have expected that, but I suppose it's probable, isn't it?
Yeah, if you don't have to go to work, you don't have to dress up. You're just on a phone. That's not a bad deal. Now they closed up yesterday 3%. There has not been a trade yet this morning, so there's no indication of what it's going to look like this morning as we get started. An old name popped up today that it's been around forever as far as I know. Emerson Electric.
Lord.
Remember the old Emerson radios and I remember the Emerson CBs. It's just an old company to me. They came in and surprised by about 20 cents a share. Revenue was ahead of forecast also. They said they have been impacted by COVID-19, but what they did is they went on an aggressive cost-cutting actions, and that's what helped them do better than expected in their profit area, and they also raised their full-year guidance a little bit. So they're trading up almost 2% this morning.
Not bad. Yeah, I saw them on my big winners list this morning and said, there's an oldie but a goodie brand I haven't heard of much.
Yeah. The other one, AMC Networks, which is the company behind AMC, the entertainment channels, the Sundance reports, those type of network TV that are out there. They had a really good quarter. They beat by over $1 a share, and revenue was ahead of forecast too. They did well. They're up almost 4.4% this morning, so they're doing well this morning also.
That actually makes some sense. More people staying at home watching the tube, right?
Yeah, it does. Now on the downside, and we kind of expected this one, the Hyatt hotels. They lost a little more than expected. They were expected to lose $1.32 a share. They actually lost $1.80. A pretty significant difference there. And obviously, revenue came in below forecast. They're really just hurting, like all the other hotel and travel industries. They're just hurting when it comes to stock price and travel right now. They're trading down a little over 0.5% right now.
The travel and leisure sector has got to be hurting at the moment. I didn't ask you about this before we went on the air, but I noticed that Ralph Lauren had put out their report. I know they missed on revenue, and they're pretty close to the top of my big loser list. Do you have the numbers on that?
They, let's see, I did have it, but I don't have the exact, I know they lost significantly.
Yeah, they're 5.5% right now, and that kind of means that it was a lot less than the investors expected.
Yeah. I mean, it's down over $4 a share right now on my ticker.
Yeah, it doesn't look pretty. I knew it was revenue miss, and that was the only thing I saw on my ticker as I went through it before we went on the
Well,
air.
I did see gross revenue missed by not quite $200 million for the quarter.
Oh, chump change.
Yeah. So that was that. You're right. That was a pretty big miss.
What's a couple of $100 million between friends, right?
That's right. I see a headline just popped up, Booking.com to cut their workforce by 25%.
Ouch. Well, we're seeing it happen. Home Depot, by the way, is adding 1,000 jobs, opening up some new distribution centers up around Atlanta. So, there's good news to go with bad news, but unfortunately the bad news tends to pressure downward more. Setting the table for the morning, yesterday was a green day on Wall Street. The Dow was up healthy, 236 points. NASDAQ was up by 158. And that, by the way, was a new closing record. Standard & Poor's up by 23.5. Kind of alluded to it earlier. I think we're just kind of getting bummed out by the logjam in Congress because I'm seeing a lot of red ink this morning. How bad does it look 45 minutes early, Phillip?
No, Dave, it's actually been improving the last 15, 20 minutes here. So we've got the Dow down about $47. We've got the S&P 500 down 12, and we got the NASDAQ down 43. So nobody's down more than 0.4% right now. So that's not too bad given what we ended up with yesterday. On the other side of the coin, the commodity side, we got silver up a little over 0.1%. We got gold up about 0.2%, and crude oil is about where it was yesterday, but it's down 1.7% from where it closed, $40.30 a barrel.
Yeah, we're getting a daily cycle on the price of crude oil that I'm finding fascinating. It always shows down in the morning, and it always looks about where it was the day before, right?
Yeah. So far, that's kind of been the trend.
Absolutely. Asian rim markets, for the most part, in green ink at the close early this morning. Europe is mixed with just some small movement one way or the other of the zero mark this morning, midway through their day. Phillip, advice is always needed as to how to stabilize and maybe even grow a retirement fund. You can help people no matter where they are, close to it in the danger zone or planning ahead by 20 or 30 years. How do I find you for an appointment?
Dave, they can call us at 863-382-0037. Also, let me announce today, we are relaunching our Ask Phillip Anything. We're going to call it Fridays with Phillip. The first one will be 11:30 this coming Friday. So call my office to register, and we'll send you the link on how to access that. 863-382-0037. We'll be there to answer your questions, your concerns, give you a little update on the markets, those type of things. Excited to relaunch that. Follow us on our radio station. All you have to do is 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on Highlands News Talk 730.
And back here again tomorrow morning at 8:40 or so here on Light FM. Are you offering free Zoom training for those Ask Phillip Anything sessions?
Well, it's not that difficult, Dave. You really can do it.
I got a Rotary Club president that for the last 6 weeks I've been staring at her ceiling fan.
Well, maybe she just don't want you to look at her.
Have a good day, my friend. We'll see you tomorrow, all right?
All right, man. You have a great one.
Take care. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, as I said with Dave, kind of as we went off the air, this Friday we're relaunching Friday with Phillip, where you can come bring your questions and we will provide the best answers we possibly can. They were successful before, but we're going to relaunch them Friday, 11:30. All you have to do, call my office to register, 863-382-0037, and they will send you an email with the link for that meeting. We'll be there about an hour and a half if there's a lot of questions and a lot of stuff we can talk about. So, hey, take care. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.